Good. So we're going to look at squeeze plays this evening, and what is sometimes called a simple squeeze. And that's called a simple squeeze because there are more advanced kind of squeezes. But in its simplest form, a squeeze is just a situation where you play off your tricks in such a way that an opponent has difficulty in discarding, and they may end up discarding the wrong thing. So they may actually be in a position where whatever they discard gives you an extra trick, or they may not be sure what to discard. But in either case, it gives you a chance to do better than you would otherwise do. So let's have a look at this hand to start with, where South has opened 2 no trump. That's a balance 20 to 22. And North has got 16 points. So he knows that his part between them, they've got 36 points at least. I would probably just bid 6 no trump on this hand, because you can't really be certain of making a grand slam. But let's suppose you get so overwhelmed by your hand that you jump to 7 no trump. And let's suppose the opponents lead a heart. And let's have a look at this now from South's point of view. And as is usual in a no trump contract, I'd like to start off by counting your definite top tricks. Okay, so have a moment, count your definite top tricks, and then we'll look at opportunities to make more if necessary. So start off by counting your top tricks, and here comes a poll, and the question is, how many top tricks, definite top tricks, does Declarer have? And 84% of you have gone for 12, with a small number going for 11 and for 13. And let's just go and count them. In spades, we have 2 tricks, the ace and king. We have 3 hearts. We have 3 diamonds, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can make 4 club tricks with the king and the ace, queen, and jack. So we start off with 12 tricks, and you might think, where could I make another trick from? Well, one possibility is diamonds. You could try a diamond finesse and hope to win a trick with the 10, or you could play off the diamonds, the ace, king, queen, and hope that the jack drops. And then there's also a slight possibility that you may make a trick in spades, but diamonds looks like the best bet. However, you certainly don't have a certain extra trick there. So what you should do on a hand like this instead of is if you start by taking your tricks, you may end up in a situation where one or either opponent is squeezed and discard something that may help you. And what you have to do when you're playing like this is think about what are the cards that you're going to try and keep track of. You're obviously going to watch for the jack of diamonds. If the jack of diamonds appears at any point, then you know you can make another diamond. And perhaps not so obvious, you're missing the queen and jack of spades. And if both of those were to drop, you could make another trick with the 10. So let's suppose we start off by winning the first trick, and let's start off by playing our club. So we'll start with the king, we'll play another club, and we'll play another club. And East makes the first discard here, and they discard a heart. Let's actually bring up the 4 hands at this point and see what's going on. And you can see on this hand that the jack of diamonds is over here in the east hand, so that's bad for you. You're not going to doesn't look like you'll make a 4th trick there. But as you play off your winners, you will find that East comes under discarding pressure. So if we carry on with another club, we can throw a spade from dummy. They can throw a heart there, and then let's suppose before we turn our attention to diamonds, because that's where we're hoping to get the extra trick by someone discarding the jack, discarding a diamond perhaps. If we play a heart, now East has to find another discard. And East, of course, can see dummy with the ace, king, queen, 10. So we'll really want to keep his 4 diamonds there to prevent the 10 from making a trick. So he'll probably discard a spade. And if you now cash your last heart, East has even more of a problem discarding, and he will probably discard a spade. And now you're going to maybe try your diamonds. If you start with suppose you start with ace of spades, but then play the king of spades first, then you will get East will discard the queen and then the jack and then the queen of spades. And if you're paying attention, you now know that your 10 of spades is good. So you cash your 10 of spades and throw away a diamond and claim the last 3 tricks here. So played that way, you can make 13 tricks. And East was squeezed here. East was squeezed because they wanted to keep 4 diamonds, and so they couldn't guard the spades, and so they had to discard spades when you cashed your winners. So there was nothing here on this layout that East could do. On a different layout, that squeeze wouldn't work, but it worked here because East had the spades he wanted to guard, as well as 4 diamonds, including the jack. So that was one that sort of just happens by accident. If you cash all your side tricks before you try to play the diamonds, you may find that someone has discarded something that helps you. Let's try a slightly different one. This time you open 2 no trump and your partner bids 6 no trump. And again, they lead a heart. And again, we're going to stop to count our top tricks here. And I'll just count them without a poll here. We've got 1 spade, 3 hearts, we've got 3 diamonds, and we've got 4 clubs again. So that's 7 and 4 is 11. We have 11 top tricks on this hand. And again, there's a prospect of making an extra one, perhaps in diamonds. Now, if you we're going to play this hand 2 different ways. The first way, we're just going to take our top tricks. And let's see what happens here. We win the first trick. Let's suppose we play the clubs, play 4 rounds of clubs. Okay. On the last round of clubs, East can discard a heart. Then we play another a heart here. And East here, remember, he can see dummy here, so he's going to keep his 4 diamonds to prevent the 10 making a trick, and he's going to discard a spade. And then if you play another heart, East has no particular problem here. He will keep his diamond and he will discard a spade. Okay, so now if you play the diamonds, if you try the diamond finesse, of course, it will fail. But if you cash instead the ace, king, and queen of diamonds, hoping that the jack drops, then the jack is still out. So you realize your 10 of diamonds is not a winner, and you'll probably just play a spade here. Playing the ace or whatever you play, you're going to only make 11 tricks. They'll get in and will take two tricks. So this was a hand where you started with 11 tricks, and that was in fact all that you made. And instead of playing it that way, just taking your 11 tricks and hoping, that things divide well for you, it's often a good idea when you're trying to develop a squeeze to lose a trick early on. So we're going to play this hand again slightly differently, but instead of just cashing our 11 tricks and then hoping, we can afford to lose 1 trick here, and so we are going to lose it early on. So if they lead a heart as before, we'll take that, and we might start taking some clubs, but before we go too much further, we need to lose a trick somewhere. And the suit where we can lose a trick is in spades. So we're going to play this by playing a low spade and deliberately playing low here, deliberately letting the opponents win a trick here. And what that has done, it's tightened up the hand so that East will have more problems discarding. Let's see what happens after that. If they carry on in hearts, we'll win the ace. We can now continue cashing our clubs, and we've got another heart to cash as well. And when we play this last heart, East will discard a spade because they want to keep the 4 diamonds to the jack. And now, if we cash our last club from our hand, East has real problems knowing what to discard. He'll probably want to, he doesn't really want to discard a spade because then his king is no longer protected, and he doesn't want to discard a diamond because it will set up the 4th diamond in dummy. In fact, whatever he plays, Declarer can make his contract now. So if he, you can see that if he discards a spade, then Declarer can play a spade and the king will drop. He can play the ace and the queen will drop, and he'll make a trick with the jack. And if instead of discarding a spade, he discards a diamond, then that's almost equally good for Declarer, because now his only hope is that he can take 4 diamonds. So he'll cash the ace, king, queen, and take the 10 of diamonds as well. So played that way, he can make 12 tricks. And it's a good idea if you don't have 12 tricks, but you want to create pressure on the opponents to lose however many tricks you think you need to, you're willing to lose. Here it's only 1, and that gives will tighten up the hand. Strictly speaking, in bridge terminology, it's called rectifying the count. So it's losing tricks, and in this case, it results in a squeeze on East. To interrupt if you have any questions, let's have a look at this one here, where you open 1 no trump, that's 12 to 14. Your partner bids 2 clubs, that's Damon. You respond 2 diamonds as you have no 4-card major, and you end up in 3 no trump, and the opponents lead the queen of clubs. And again, let's stop to count our top tricks. So we've got 3 spades, 1 heart, 3 diamonds, and 1 club. We have 8 top tricks there. So we need to find another trick from somewhere. And where might we get another trick from? Well, we've got some length in spades. In spades, we've got ace, king, queen, 3 with 7, 6. So we have 6 spades, including the ace, king, queen. And we have a similar situation in diamonds where we've got the ace, king, queen. Now, in either of those suits, if someone has got a 4-card holding and discards from that 4-card holding, we might make an extra trick with our last card in the suit, in the diamonds or in the spades. However, let's see what happens if we just start by taking our tricks, and we'll bring up the 4 hands as we do this. And let's suppose we start off in taking the ace of clubs, and let's suppose we start cashing our tricks. Perhaps taking our diamonds, we'd play the ace, the queen, and the king. We can take 3 tricks. There's still the jack of diamonds out, so we don't get a trick there. And then we play spades, perhaps. We're sort of hoping something good happens there. But again, we can cash 3 spades, but our last spade is not a winner either. So we've made 7 tricks now, and prospects aren't that great now. We might play a heart. We might decide not to win this one, but the opponents can win that one, and we'll probably switch to a club here. And when they play a club, finally, they might play a heart at the end, and we'll win that one, the 8th trick, but we lose the last one. And we'll just make the 8 tricks that we were expecting to make: 3 spades, 3 diamonds, 1 ace of hearts, and the ace of clubs. So that didn't work. But what you can do on a hand like this is we'll replay this again, but we'll lose a number of tricks early on. And the idea of that is to give the opponents problems in discarding, and they may discard something that will help us. So on this hand, we have 8 top tricks, but we hope to make 9, and it's a good idea to lose as many tricks as you can afford to early on. So if they lead the Queen of Clubs, let's let them win that one with the King. Okay, let's let them win the second club trick. And let's suppose they play another club, which again we win. We're deliberately letting them win 3 tricks here in order to cause them discarding pressures. So we've lost 3 tricks here. And let's suppose they don't play a club, but play another suit like a heart. We've lost 3 tricks so far, but we want to lose 4 tricks. We want to rectify the count so that we are going to lose 4 tricks to give us the best chance of making the last 9. So we're going to deliberately lose that one. Whatever comes back now, of course, we need to start winning. And let's just see what happens as we play out our winners. If we now start on diamonds, we can see the ace of diamonds and take the queen, play the 3rd diamond, and east follows, but there's still a high diamond out the jack, so we know that's not going to make a trick. But just see what happens if instead of playing the spades right away, if we cash the last club at this point. We can throw away from dummy, and east now has a real problem knowing what to discard. He wants to keep his 4 spades because he can see 4 spades in dummy. And he'd also like to keep his jack of diamonds because he knows it's high. But he can't do both of those things. So if he discards a spade, we now know that the 6 of diamonds we have is no longer good. It's not good because the jack's still out there. So we might just try our spades. But what's happened is that because east discarded a spade, now we'll be able to make all those spades. So we'll make the ace, king, queen, and we'll make the last spade because east was squeezed. East couldn't keep 4 spades and the jack of diamonds at the end. And so we were able to make an extra trick there. So it's a good tip in general in this kind of situation, even if you're not planning exactly how it's going to go, to lose a certain number of tricks early on rather than just cash your tricks. And it will often lead to a situation where the opponents are squeezed, or sometimes they may not actually be technically squeezed, but they're not sure what to discard, and whatever they discard may help you. Okay, let's have a look at one last hand here, and I'd like to start with a bidding problem on this one. West here has opened a heart, north your partner has doubled, east passed, and I'd like you to think, what would you bid with this south hand? So here comes the second poll, and the question is, what do you think south should bid? Okay, let's have a look at the results. And the most popular response was 2 spades here. Others went for 3, 4, 1. One person went for something else. If the person who bid something else would like to unmute themselves, you can tell us what they chose. But I would bid here 4 spades. Your partner has made a takeout double, which presumably shows the 3 unbid suits and something like an opening hand, 12 points. You've got 10 points here, but you've got a magnificent spade suit. So you almost certainly have a great fit in spades. You know, 2 spades or 3 spades would be invitational, but I think I'll just go straight to 4 spades here. We suspect we have a 10-card spade fit. And also, if you use the losing trick count, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers. My partner's double should be 7 losers or better. So I think 4 spades is the right bid there. Anyway, let's suppose you do bid 4 spades and they lead the ace of hearts. And down comes dummy, and you can see a pretty nice dummy. And I'd like you to think about your plan on this hand, and I'd like you to think about how many potential losers you have. There isn't a poll on this, but I want you to make a plan on this hand, count your expected losers, and then see if that will help you come up with the best way to play this. So take a minute, count your losers. And let's suppose they win the first trick with the ace. They play another heart. They win with the king. They play a third heart, which East ruffs. That's a not completely unexpected, but you, of course, can overruff. So that's 2 trump gone. And let's just take stock of how many trumps are left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 2 trump left in the east-west hand. So let's suppose you next draw that one more round of trumps. Everyone follows. And so all the trumps have gone. Okay. And I've got the third and final poll of the evening, which is which suit are you going to play now? You've just drawn the last trump. And the question is, which suit do you think declarer should play now? And most of you have gone for diamonds, 57%, with 30% going for spades and 13% going for clubs. So what do we think? First of all, what is our plan on this hand? Well, we're going to make our contract here because we've made 2 tricks so far. And if you count the rest of your tricks, you're going to make all the rest of the spades. That's 4. And you've got 2 diamonds and 2 clubs, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to make 10 tricks here. You've lost 2 tricks, and the only other place you might lose a trick is your third club. You might well lose a trick in clubs. So what are you going to do about that? Well, you could play another suit like diamonds. And in fact, I see a lot of people on a hand like this. What they do is they play the ace and king of diamonds and then ruff a diamond. And although you can do that, it doesn't lead to any extra tricks. If you ruff a diamond, all you are doing is telling the opponents that you have no diamonds left in your hand. And they already know that you have no hearts left in your hand. So if they have anything, they will keep their clubs. So it's a mistake to play the ace king and ruff a diamond. It does not help you. And instead, what I strongly recommend you do on a hand like this is just keep playing all your spades. You may well squeeze one of the opponents, or they may be in a position where they discard the wrong thing. So let's just bring up the 4 hands at this point, and you can see that West, who opened 1 heart, has got pretty good high cards left. But let's see what happens if instead of playing diamonds or clubs, if we just put the pressure on them by playing spades. So when we play the first spade, West has no problem discarding hearts. Hearts have already been ruffed, so they should be very happy to get rid of those. Play another spade, and West again discards another heart, and then plays another spade, and West discards the right thing, which is a heart. But now we come to the difficulty for West, because if instead of playing any other suit, if we cash our last trump, West has real difficulties in knowing what to discard. And he wants to keep 3 diamonds, he wants to keep 3 clubs, but he really doesn't know what is the right thing to discard. You're forcing him to discard, and you must play off all your trump in a situation like this to give yourself the best chance that they will find that they won't know what to discard. If, for example, they discard a diamond, then if I click on the GIB link, it will say that you can make an over trick here if you discard a club. So if you discard a club here, okay, then when you play the diamonds, the ace and king will drop the queen and jack, and your 9 of diamonds is actually high at this point. If you weren't absolutely sure that it was high, you might decide to cash your 2 clubs first and then play your diamond. But played that way, you can make 11 tricks. And you can see West had a good hand for opening 1 heart on, but if you play off all your trumps, it gives West discarding pressures. So don't, there's no reason to play any other suit. You're always going to make your contract, but you give yourself the best chance by cashing all your trumps. So when you experience this as a defender quite often, when declarers are running a long suit, you don't know what to discard. Or when declarers drawing trumps, you sometimes don't know what to discard. And the more that you can do this as declarer, the more likely it's likely to be successful. If you cash all your trumps in this case, it's likely to give West real discarding pressures. So that was all I wanted to talk about today. Squeezes are sometimes thought of as very advanced plays, but a lot of squeezes sort of just happen by accident. And especially if you run your long suits, especially if you lose the tricks you can afford to lose early on, you will end up putting pressure on the opponents, and you will execute a lot more squeezes than you have been doing before. Anyone have any comments or questions about that?